Madcap!
You're entirely bonkers.
Yes, whatever you do, keep a straight face.
Hi there, my name's Supe, and every Monday at the Spot On Tour in Providence, I do a little thing we like to call Madcap Monday. It was started by my good buddy Nate Cozzolino, and it includes a lot of people from around Providence. We like to have a lot of fun, and we like to have a little madcapery, if you will. We started the whole thing as kind of an acoustic open mic night, and it really turned into a gathering of musicians and friends and just having a grand old time at the beginning of the week before we're supposed to be getting into such shenanigans. Caleb records music and does so very well, and he records every Monday, and I decided that I would cull through each week and find some cool things, whether it be poems, some music, or even weird, crazy things like Philosorants, which is a few minutes where I take the mic and talk about some things that come into my brain. So, with all that in mind, I want to welcome you to the first Madcast of Madcap Mondays at the Spot On Tour in Providence. And this week, it seems like we are featuring myself with a talk about Phonebooths, Caleb and Nate singing a song called Little Red Corvette, one of my favorites of Nate's original music. Caleb does a song called Garden of Life. Mike Baker's going to do 2 songs for us. And Josh Willis joins us for one of his not quite always so standard compilation, jam up, mash up, fantasticery-ness that he does on a fairly regular basis at the venue. So I hope you enjoyed. Here it is, Episode 1 of the Madcast of Madcap Mondays, Lost and Found.
'Cause you spend your days breathing down the throat and nose of those who comatose in every aspect of life. But I will leave alone all of those broken souls. Take your fine-tooth comb, it's just another reason for strife. And I have never felt so alive as the day you kicked me out of your life. So I will take a look at my shit home, use it for loam and hone my skills in the garden of life. But now, don't hold me back, 'cause new horizons open gates and my eyes are open. They've been closed for so long. Please let the light out. 'Cause now my eyes are open, holes spilling soul out into the world for the others to find. No matter what you think, I won't blink or cut the spectral link. I'll hop the brink until the shadows abide. 'Cause I've never felt so alive as the day you kicked me out of your life. So I will take all of my shit home, use it for loam and hone my skills in the garden of life. But now, don't hold me back, 'cause new horizons open gates and my eyes are open. They've been closed for so long.
So that was the recording guy himself, Caleb, with his song Garden of Lifer. Next up, I think we're going to do Mike Baker's song. You heard it at the beginning of the episode. It's actually our intro music, Stick Fishin', acoustic. I hope you're enjoying everything so far from this Madcast of Madcap Mondays.
I made a trip in out of place, indulgent Blake, all human race spirals down at a steady pace. Hey, my dad raised it up for wishing, but I blind the wall, my brain's gone fishing. Yet the light, it took my sight, now imagination flies a kite. Inside we find a sea of green, a porcelain spine. If your throat is ghost, then use your mind. Inside we find bleeding veins are all the same. Animal instinct leaves it all in tail. Power I know your tears are cool it down, swallow. Don't need no sleep, it's a crunch of the mind, like an entrance to the dose and just intertwine. Pack more line than it could fit in, found a chemical balance and the sun got dim. Inside we find a porcelain spine. If your throat is coarse, then use your mind. Inside we find bleeding veins are all the same. Animal instinct leaves it all in tail. Take me back. Can you take me back where I came from? Can you take me back? Can you take me back where I came from? Can you take me back? Brother, can you take me back where I came from? Can you take me back? Inside we find a porcelain spine. If your throat is coarse, then use your mind. Inside we find bleeding veins are all the same. Animal instinct leaves us all in tail. Inside we find a sea of green, a porcelain spine. If your throat is coarse, then use your mind.
And And there he is, the cook of the Spot on Tour, Mike Baker. He really does some great work. He's got a whole stack of originals and also does some really wonderful covers. You're sure to see a lot of him on the Madcast. Here's another guy who we hope to have regularly. However, getting him out on a Monday night isn't always so easy. We're going to have Josh Willis do one of his famous compilations. This one's got a little Ben Harper in it. Runs into some Sublime and then Four Non-Blondes. That fantastic song from the 90s. Thanks for enjoying Madcap Mondays with us on the Madcast. There's plenty more coming up, so stick with us.
Supporting live music, local musicians, and artists. The Spot on Tour, 101 Richmond Street, Downtown Providence. Live music 7 nights a week and our kitchen's open late. Find out more at thespotunderground.com. And stay connected with us on social media, The Spot Underground on Facebook.
New girl, her name was Truth. She was a horrible liar. She couldn't spend one day alone, and she couldn't be satisfied. When you have everything, you have everything to lose, yeah, yeah. She made herself a bed of nails, and she's planning on putting it to use. She wore diamonds on the inside. She wore diamonds, diamonds on the inside. She wore diamonds, diamonds on the inside. Diamonds, diamonds. Candle throws its light into the darkness in a nasty world, so shine on the good deeds. I can't remember the lyrics to this next part. She wore diamonds on the inside. She wore diamonds, diamonds on the inside. She wore diamonds, diamonds on the inside. Diamonds, diamonds. When you grab a hold of me, tell me that I'll never be set free. I'm parasite, creep and crawl, I step into the night. 2 pints of booze. Tell me, are you a bad fish too? Are you a bad fish too? But ain't got no money to spend. I hope this night never ends. The Lord knows I'm weak. Won't somebody get me off of this reef? And baby, you're a big blue whale. Round the reef when all duck diving fails. I'd swim, but I wish I'd never heard that the water's too polluted now with germs. And I dive deep when it's 10 underneath my bed, but ain't got no quarrels with God. Ain't got no time to get old. The Lord knows I'm weak. Want somebody get me up from this ring. Ain't got no quarrels with God. Ain't got no time to get old. The Lord knows I'm weak. Want somebody get me off of this street. 25 years and my life is still trying to get up that great big hill of hope for a destination. Realized quickly, and I knew I would, that the world was made up of this brotherhood of man. Oh, whatever that means, yeah. So I cry sometimes when I'm lying in bed just to get it all out what's in my head, and I'm feeling just a little peculiar. And oh God, do I scream from the top of my lungs of what's going on? Yeah, yeah, hey, yeah, oh yeah, hey, yeah, yeah. I said, hey, what's going on? I said, hey, yeah, hey, yeah. I said, hey, what's going on? And I try, oh my God, do I try? I try all the time in this institution. And I pray, oh my God, do I pray every single day for revolution. But then I wake in the morning and I step outside and I take a deep breath, then I get real high and I scream from the top of my lungs, what's going on? And I said, hey, yeah, oh yeah, hey, yeah, yeah. I said, hey, what's going on? And I said, hey, yeah, yeah, hey, yeah. I said, hey, what's going on? Ain't got no quarrels with God. Ain't got no time to get old. The Lord knows I'm weak. Want somebody get me off of this reef, baby.
So I'm also an instrumentalist artist. I've had a couple of those tonight, singing about them and stuff. I like to do a little thing I call a Philosorant, and actually Nate gave it that name, I'm pretty sure. I'm going to talk to you about some cool stuff that's kind of cool and kind of relevant, but not really at all relevant to anything really cool. And what'd I do? I did tennis ball, love is like a tennis ball before. I've talked about things like mantis shrimp and potatoes. French fried potatoes. So today, I thought of this a while ago. Mike Baker does a song at the beginning of most of his sets called Phonebooth, and they call me Supe not because I like to eat liquid-based foods, but because I'm really excited about Superman. And so Phonebooth seems very relevant. And I usually like to run into something else, so I decided I was going to go with masks, like the things you wear on your face, because I feel that I can transition from phone booths to masks and still keep an attention or two. So, I'm going to start off with this. Phone booths were invented in 1903 by this guy named Emmanuel, and he decided it would be a really good idea if people could pay some money to contact other people. And they've been doing this for a long time. Before, in 1889, the first payphone was invented, but it was in a postal office, which is kind of interesting. It's kind of like your barber pulling your teeth and your post office guy taking your telegraphs. And they got really popular really fast until the 70s, when people stopped calling each other unless you were reporting in onto a newspaper or something like that. So there's always been this connotation with journalism and phone booths. And journalism, I feel, is definitely a two-faced thing. There's this person, and then there is what that person is representing and trying to collect information about. And I think that it's really poignant that a phone booth, our point of communication for over 100 years, is also attributed to our point of non-communication, which would be mass media and journalism, in my opinion. So I always found that cool connotation to lead me to believe the phone booth as like a mystical portal aura thing that makes you feel really safe and really good all the time, because you can use the phone booth for more than just calling people. You can use it for really cool things like stashing your stuff when you're trying to get away from somebody, maybe, and you stash in the phone booth. You can find a loved one in a phone booth, or you could make love to a loved one or a not-so-loved one in a phone booth. And the one thing that I really like that people do in phone booths a lot, or that we see in media people do in phone booths a lot, is change our clothes. People get naked in phone booths all the time. On average, in the past 100 years, I bet more people got naked than made phone calls in a phone booth. I'd put money on that. I would. Right? And think about the sex and the hiding. At one point or another, for both of those, you're probably going to get naked then, too. So now we have like 3 or 4 things that get you naked in the phone booth without making an actual phone call. And a phone booth was designed very specifically to do very specific things. It has windows so that the person outside can see the person inside using it and won't interrupt them. It has a door so you can close and have some sort of privacy, but you can still be seen from the outside, even though you think for some reason you have privacy on the inside of this 2.5 by 2.5 foot box. Which was another really weird thing to me, that is, you're changing your clothes in a phone booth, and it's made out of glass, so like you're not really hiding from anybody, but you're naked and you feel like you're being really private about it, but you're not actually. You're actually showing off your most intimate goods to the entire world while you yourself think inwardly about being naked by yourself. And that's a real conundrum too, because I think I'm naked by myself all the time. And most of the time when I am naked, I'm not alone, which is very interesting to think about, that unless I'm cleaning my body, I'm not naked without somebody else. And I bet that's true for a lot of you, too. You're not naked without somebody else unless you're cleaning your stuff. And it doesn't matter how often you clean your stuff either, because you probably make love just about as much. You know, to be weird and cliche. So where I'm going with the clothes changing thing comes back to my favorite comic book superhero, Superman, who obviously was the guy who changed his clothes in a phone booth and made that a popular thing. And it wasn't even in the comics first. It was that black and white, the George guy who killed himself or didn't kill himself. That's a big theory thing. I'm not really sure either way. He started changing in the phone booth because they couldn't make the animations fast enough of him spinning around, because somebody literally had to draw the animations of this guy spinning. So they just put him in a phone booth, and he came back out with the other clothes on, bada bing. He spun in the phone booth. That's cool. We all can pretend that. We used to listen to radio, and coconuts were horse hooves. I saw Monty Python the other night, too. So Superman, as some of us may have known from a very popular movie by a very popular director with a bunch of very popular people in it, Superman is the real guy, if we remember. And Clark Kent is Superman's interpretation of what he thinks humans are like. He's mild-mannered, he's quaint, he's quiet, he can't stick up for himself, he never tells the girl he loves that he loves her, and until he unfurls his glasses and the curl across his head and puts on that big red cape that he was wrapped in on his way here to Earth to spend his time with us, he has absolutely zero self-confidence whatsoever. And so, in a reverse manner, Clark Kent is actually Superman's mask. See how I brought it around there from the beginning when I told you I would do that? So we all wear a mask, and most of us have superhero masks, more like Peter Parker and Spider-Man. He puts on his stuff. He always has superpowers, but he was born as Peter Parker without superpowers and became Spider-Man by way of, extenuating circumstances. It's really hard to say. So somewhere in the 90s, we dropped phone booths. We got cell phones shortly thereafter, and we tried to pick up the phone booth by making our computer attachable to it. So now you just take your computer and plug it into your phone booth and pay 25 cents a minute to go on the internet and look at Pornhub or whatever. And I never really understood why we lost the phone booth and why we didn't just change it into more of a useful booth. And there's some cool booths that we've seen in media culture. I hope I get at least one woo, probably from this guy or this guy. Doctor Who has a TARDIS that is much like a phone booth, and actually police call boxes are reinterpreted phone booths. And we have a lot of other boxes that we use for privacy. We have porta potties at our festivals. You know, those things that get filled up with toilet paper and fecal matter, like in the first 13 seconds they're there? People use those to go to the bathroom sometimes, not just like expel their guts. And you can change in there too, and that's a little more private. And you're also going to take yourself away from the experience that you were in before. And I think when you go into a phone booth to make a phone call, that means you had a really specific purpose for this phone call, and you needed to talk to this person really bad. I needed to get the headline to the newspaper, or I needed to tell my uncle to come down here because the car broke down and I need $350 to get a new axle. Phone booths were for emergencies. And I remember giving my mom her first cell phone when I was a freshman in college. We went out and bought her first cell phone. She's like, I'm going to keep this in my glove box, and we're just going to use it for emergencies. That way I don't waste all the minutes. And that was a thing, using minutes on a cell phone. And using minutes on a payphone was a real thing. I used to pay 30 cents for like 15 minutes to call New York, which was a great deal in the 90s. It was like rapage in the 70s, but... So now I go into this phone booth and I find myself in a different environment than I was literally on the other side of that glass. I am now inside my own aquarium, and I can be watched, and I have no ethereal thoughts about what's going on. I am thinking about the phone call that I am making inside of this glass-paneled box that separates me from the rest of the world. And I change a little bit. I don't have to spin around real fast, and I don't have to close the non-see-through door, but I change a little bit when I go into that different environment. And I experience something different, and I communicate a different way. I communicate more intimately with the person that I'm on the phone with. It's like sitting in the kitchen by yourself, talking on the phone to your grandmother long distance. You get to feel the connection. It's like writing a letter with your hand on a piece of paper and sending it to somebody with a postage stamp. And it takes 6 days to get there. It's a little more intimate, and it changes how you think. And that's all I'm really trying to do, is I'm trying to change how you think. So while I'm up here, and these lights are really shiny, and you can all see me, and I can't really see you, just know that you changed me a little bit based on my environment. And you need to be your own Kal-El and put on your own mask, and when you go in your phone booth, you can come out just a little bit different than when you went in. My name is Supe. Thanks.
Nothing really lasts. What lasts? Now I said, should've known by the way you parked your car sideways that it wouldn't last. said you're the kind of girl that believes in making out once, love 'em and leave 'em fast. Well, I guess I must be dumb. You had a pocket full of horses, Trojans, some of them used. But it's Saturday night, and I guess that makes it alright. And you say, what have you got to lose? And I said, little red Corvette. Yeah, baby, you're much too fast.
Much too fast. And I said,
Now, little red Corvette. Well, you need to find a love that's gonna last. I guess I should have closed my eyes when you took me to the place where your horses run free. 'Cause I felt a little sick when I saw all the photos of the jockeys that were there before me. And now, believe it or not, well, I started to worry. Yeah, wondering if I had enough class. But it's Saturday night, and I guess that makes it alright. And you say, baby, have you got enough gas? Well, I said, little red Corvette. Oh, now, baby, you're much too fast, much too fast now. Well, little red Corvette. Oh, well, you need to find a love that's gonna last. We were never meant to last, because you're moving too fast.
That was the Madcap master himself, Nate Cozzolino, with backup from the recording guy, Caleb. We got one more song for you, Mike Baker doing Madness on Madcap Monday's Madcast.
A song called Madness.
But I could not find it. Well, there's what's there, and I'm not lying. Madness, the struggle's me. Madness strangles my inner peace. Madness, the struggle's me. Well, I look, but I could not see that my happiness depends on thee. happiness depends on thee. And what I've seen, or so it seems, has led me to sit and disbelieve. So gouge your eyes, but don't criticize, cause now this eye's upon you. Well, I looked, but I could not find it. There was one there, and I'm not lying. Madness, the struggle's me. Madness strangles my inner peace. Madness, the strangles me. Well, I looked, but I could not see that my happiness depends on thee. But I could not find it. There was one there, and I'm not lying. Madness, the struggle's me. Madness strangles my inner peace. Madness, the struggle's me. Well, I looked, but I could not see that my happiness depends on thee.
And there it is, the Madcap Monday Madcast. I hope you've enjoyed it so far, and we'll be doing this fairly often. You can come check us out live at the Spot on Tour on Monday evenings, and we will be posting these Madcasts fairly regularly. So keep your ears and eyes peeled, and we'll see you next time on Madcap Monday's Madcast.
Madcap! I smoke! I smoke all the time! I don't care.
You're entirely bonkers.
Well, nobody's perfect.
Drunk and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
You're indeed brave tonight, but the fight is mine.
Oh, had enough, eh?
Look, you stupid bastard, you've got no arms left.
Yes, I have.
Look!
It's just a flesh wound.